Hey there, English learners! Join me as I challenge myself to boost my English fluency through public interest podcasts.
And I'm here to share this journey with Sarah and all of you listeners.
Welcome, everyone, to our English Fluency Boost podcast with tips and tricks to enhance your English language skills. I'm Sarah, and I'm thrilled to have you with us today.
And I'm Jake, Sarah's co-host and fellow language enthusiast. We're excited to dive into today's topic, which is improve English fluency through public interest podcasts.
That's right, Jake. Before we jump in, let me share a surprising statistic that caught my attention recently. Did you know that as of 2024, there are over 5 billion podcast listeners worldwide? And get this, a significant portion of these listeners use podcasts as a tool for language learning.
Wow, that's incredible. It really shows how podcasts have become a powerful medium for education and self-improvement, especially in language learning.
Without a doubt. And that's why we're focusing on this topic today. We'll explore how public interest podcasts can be a game changer for improving English fluency.
I'm really excited about this, Sarah. As someone who's used podcasts to improve my own language skills, I can't wait to share my experiences and insights with our listeners.
Me too, Jake. Let's start by discussing why English fluency is so crucial in today's globalized world. From my experience, it's been a key factor in securing employment opportunities. What about you, Jake?
Definitely. I've found that strong English skills have been essential for business travel and even securing promotions. It's not just about knowing the language. It's about being able to communicate effectively and confidently in various professional settings.
That's so true. I remember when I first started my job, I was nervous about participating in meetings with clients using English only to communicate. But as my fluency improved, so did my confidence and ability to contribute meaningfully to discussions.
I can relate to that. It's amazing how improved fluency can open doors and create opportunities. But let's talk about how public interest podcasts can specifically help with this. What's been your experience, Sarah?
Well, I've found that public interest podcasts provide engaging content that really enhances listening skills. They cover a wide range of topics, from current events to science and technology, which exposes listeners to diverse vocabulary and different speaking styles.
That's a great point. I've noticed that these podcasts often feature interviews with experts or people from various backgrounds, which helps listeners get accustomed to different accents and ways of expressing ideas in English.
Exactly. And it's not just about the language itself. These podcasts also offer valuable cultural insights, which is crucial for true fluency. Understanding cultural references and idiomatic expressions can really elevate your communication skills.
Absolutely. I remember listening to a podcast about American government and politics. It helped me understand not just the vocabulary related to government, but also the cultural context behind certain political issues. It made conversations with my American colleagues so much easier and more natural.
That's such a great example, Jake. It reminds me of how I improved my understanding of British humor through a comedy podcast. It was challenging at first, but it really helped me connect better with my British friends and coworkers.
Speaking of challenges, what do you think are some of the hurdles language learners might face when using podcasts to improve their English?
Good question. I think one of the main challenges can be the speed of speech. Native speakers often talk quite fast, which can be overwhelming for learners.
That's true. What would you suggest to overcome this?
Well, many podcast apps allow you to slow down the playback speed. Starting at a slower speed and gradually increasing it as you become more comfortable can be really helpful. Also, don't be afraid to pause and replay sections you find difficult.
Those are great tips. I'd add that using transcripts, if available, can be a game changer. You can read along as you listen, which helps with both comprehension and pronunciation.
Undoubtedly. Now, let's highlight a couple of podcasts that we've found particularly beneficial for language learners. Jake, do you want to start with one of your favorites?
Sure. I really love Don Wildman's American History Hit. It covers a wide range of American historical topics in an engaging way. The hosts break down complex historical stories into understandable language, which is great for learners.
Oh, I love American History Hit too. Another one I'd recommend is This American Life. It features real-life stories from diverse perspectives, which is fantastic for understanding different accents and storytelling styles. Plus, each episode is divided into acts, making it easier to digest in smaller chunks.
Exactly. And the beauty of podcasts is that you can listen to them anywhere, while commuting, exercising, or doing chores. It's a great way to make the most of your time.
Speaking of making the most of your time, let's share some practical tips on how to effectively use podcasts for language learning. What's your approach, Jake?
Well, I like to listen to a podcast episode at least twice. The first time, I focus on general comprehension, just trying to get the main ideas. Then, on the second listen, I pay more attention to specific vocabulary and expressions I'm not familiar with.
And that brings us to the next point, consistency. Making podcast listening a regular part of your language learning routine can lead to significant improvements over time.
Definitely. Even just 15 to 20 minutes a day can make a big difference. It's all about building that habit.
Well said, Jake. As we wrap up, what would be your main piece of advice for our listeners who want to start using public interest podcasts to improve their English fluency?
I'd say, start with topics you're genuinely interested in. If you're engaged with the content, you're more likely to stick with it and learn more effectively. What do you think, Sarah?
Great advice. I'd add, don't be afraid to challenge yourself. It's okay if you don't understand everything at first. The more you listen, the more you'll improve. Embrace the learning process and enjoy the journey.
Couldn't agree more. Well, it's been a fantastic discussion, Sarah. To all our listeners out there, we hope this episode has inspired you to explore the world of public interest podcasts as a tool for improving your English fluency.
Thanks so much, Jake, for sharing your insights and experiences. And a big thank you to all our listeners for tuning in. We'd love to hear from you. Please comment and let us know about your favorite podcasts for language learning. Don't forget to subscribe for more language learning tips and check out our video on enhancing listening skills for even more great advice. Until next time, happy listening and learning. Bye for now.